book of Enoch is an apocalyptic scripture that foretells the future of humanity for those living during the days of tribulation. The book is said to be written by the prophet Enoch, who is an ancestor of Noah. The book consists of 5 parts. For the purpose of this video, we will dive into the story of the fallen angels. Later videos will cover the parables of Enoch, the visions, and astronomical revelations. Enoch is first introduced in Genesis as the son of Jared, who is a descendant of Adam and Eve's third son, Seth. Genesis tells us that Enoch walked with God, and God took him. This implies that Enoch followed God's commandments and was a righteous man. Enoch's eyes are opened by God through a heavenly vision, and he is able to see and understand events in both the present and the future. Enoch begins describing the luminaries of heaven. They do not change their orbit or transgress their appointed order, and some trees shed all their leaves during winter, and during the summer the sun is above the earth. Enoch is describing God's creation and how each creation fulfills its purpose. He then emphasizes that those that are unrighteous and do not follow God's commands are not fulfilling their purpose. God will make the unrighteous pay for their wickedness with an eternal curse, but he will reward the elect and righteous, for they have followed his commands. Hence the righteous will be blessed, and they will inherit the earth, but the sinner will perish. Afterwards we are told that beautiful women were born unto the children of men, and the angels, the children of the heaven, also referred to as the watchers, lusted after these women, and said to one another, "Let's make them our wives." The watchers were tasked with watching over the earth and played a role as spiritual guides for humans. God did not intend for the angels to procreate, but to be spiritual beings in heaven. The leaders of the watchers, Samjaza, feared that the other angels would not follow through with the plan, and that he alone would be punished by God. The watchers proceeded to make an oath with each other to move forward with the plot. There were 200 angels that descended unto the summit of Mount Hermon. Each of them took wives and began to defile themselves with them. And these women had children which were giants, also referred to as the Nephilim. The giants roamed the earth, consuming all of the food of the land, leaving no food for mankind. After they had consumed all the food of the earth, they began to consume humans and to sin against animals, and eventually the giants started eating each other and consuming each other's blood. Interestingly enough, in the book of Genesis, we are told that beautiful women were born to the sons of men, and the sons of God took them as their wives. We are also told that they were giants in the earth those days, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. Here we can see the connections between Genesis and the book of Enoch. The watchers of heaven taught the women of earth many sins, such as sorcery, charms, enchantments, cutting of roots, and usage of herbs. They revealed to them the eternal secrets that were kept in heaven, which mankind wanted to learn. They taught them astrology, the constellations, knowledge of the clouds, signs of the earth and the sun, and the course of the moon. God did not intend for mankind to know these secrets. By procreating with the beautiful women of earth and teaching the humans the secrets of heaven, the watchers disobeyed God and failed to fulfill their purpose as God's creation. And Azazel, one of the angels, taught them to make swords and knives and shields. He revealed the uses of precious stones and the beautifying of the eyelids. The earth was filled with violence, fornication, and ungodliness. And the angels of the heaven, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, looked down on earth and heard the souls of those that died. These souls cried up to heaven, saying, "Bring our case before the Most High." The angels proceeded to speak to God, and they placed the blame upon Azazel, for his teachings brought much unrighteousness and sin on earth. Unlike Samjaza and the other watchers, who were only interested in procreating with the women of earth, Azazel wanted to create conflicts between the humans. His teachings led to war and death. Hence, Azazel is attributed with all sin and the corruption of mankind. Later on in the book, Enoch refers to Azazel as the old snake, which we can infer is the snake that tempted Adam and Eve. And God proceeded to punish the watchers and to warn Noah about the great flood, which will destroy the earth and all of its inhabitants. The Lord tasked Raphael with binding Azazel in the desert and casting him into the darkness until the day of judgment, where he will be thrown into the fire. And God told the angels of heaven to heal the earth, for it was corrupted by the watchers. Here we know that the healing of the earth happens through the flood, and God spares mankind by saving Noah and his seed. And God ordered Michael to bind Samjaza and the other watchers in the valleys of the earth until the day of judgment. God instructed the angels to create conflict between the offsprings of the watchers, and the watchers were forced to see their offspring destroy one another. However, the spirits of the giants became evil spirits who oppressed and worked destruction on earth until the day of judgment. God did not intend for these evil spirits to exist, and through the disobedience of the angels, they were created. Enoch describes these demonic spirits as hungry and thirsty but unable to eat or drink, and therefore they carry out offenses and evil deeds. Eventually, these evil spirits will rise up against mankind because they came from them. The angels ask Enoch to deliver a petition to God. They request forgiveness and to be relief of their punishment. God appears in a dream to Enoch, and God does not grant their petition. He says, "You should intercede for men, and not men for you." Instead, God curses them, bans them from heaven, and promises that during the great judgment, both the watchers, evil spirits, and the unrighteous will be cast into the fire and destroyed. Overall, the first part of the book of Enoch provides a fascinating explanation for the flood. It gives us an insight into the corruption of mankind and the heavenly forces that were at play, and a further understanding of the origins of the evil spirits and the Nephilim.